Michael Bosey. Welcome to the program. Glad to have you here with me. Now, I've been talking a lot about how speaking with clarity and empathy makes a real difference in how we propagate new ideas and new concepts into the world. Today, I want to give a specific example of how this works in the real world, where an article changed the way that I think about something. The article was by Jessica Valenti in her Substack newsletter, which is called All in Her Head. And the title of the piece is The People Cancel Culture Forgot. And her contention in this article is that, quoting her, when the powerful lose out on privileges, it's cancel culture. But when anyone is deprived of their rights, it's just politics. Now, this was a new way of looking at it, at least for me. And maybe I'm late to the party. Maybe this should have been obvious. But here's the thing. All it took was one article for Jessica to change my way of thinking about this. In other words, articulating a smart idea with a new perspective, with clarity, with empathy, works. Now, in the article, she gives a ton of examples with supporting links of, just the way this dynamic works, making her case. And no surprise, it's usually drawn along the same lines of race, class, gender, right? So in other words, Josh Hawley loses out on his book deal, and, now he's a victim of cancel culture. But on the other hand, when AOC tells an emotional personal story about, what happened on January 6th, she's accused of being dramatic. Or how a man who's accused of sexual harassment gets canceled, while the women who accuse him is often referred to as a witch hunt. Now, there are a bunch of other examples in the article, and I urge you to read the piece itself. I left a link for you in the show notes. But who gets canceled is a clear statement of, quoting Jessica, whose lives and happiness matters. Again, quoting Jessica, that's what makes cancel culture so dangerous. It's about the narrowing of who we believe is deserving of empathy and who is worth fighting for. Most of all, though, it's a conservative tool meant to make accountability seem like an injustice and injustice seem unremarkable. Wow. To me, this was articulated clearly. It makes its case very cleanly, efficiently, with supporting examples. And, importantly, it's got a sense of empathy, too. Empathy for those on the other side of the power equation. Now, for me, I've been thinking about this issue a lot. I've been writing a new song over the past number of weeks about the topic, about cancel culture. And now, after reading Jessica's piece, you can bet that her perspective will be infused into how I articulate this in this other medium, right? So that's kind of cool, right? She's had an impact on me. So I just want to highlight this example, a great example of, if you do it right, it can have an impact. I don't know Jessica personally, right? I've been following her on Twitter and her Substack newsletter, but she's made an impact by speaking with clarity and with empathy. And this is how it's done and why it's important to try, because we can make a difference. We got to get the nuances right. So that's what I intend to explore is, auditing our media environment and how we speak and how we present ourselves so that we're understood clearly and can make a difference in what we say. It's what all of us want to do. Any creative act is an act of hope because we think that we can change the world, that we can change someone's perspective. Jessica's done that, for me at least. And I'll bet that you can do it too. All right, thanks for listening. Really appreciate your attention as always. And, I'll see you on the next episode.